Hi, I'm Ricki. I'm the founder of Club Melanin, the Afrocentric hair and beauty booking platform. It's funny, people ask me if this is like my first foray into business, but I've actually got like a history of what I like to call entrepreneurship. So my background is quite varied. I started in customer research and insights for like the biggest banking group in the whole of the UK, which is where I understood that before you go out for an idea, you need to test it and you need to do your research. I then went from that to traveling the world on a cruise ship, running stores on board. So from that, I learned customer service. I learned so many how to work with so many different cultures and types of people. To then going into a career at Ernst and Young, which is like a management consultancy firm, and that's where I learned like how to manage my time really effectively because it's super tough. But also how to work with lots of different types of businesses and different types of people. And from that, I decided that I loved my team and my program, but what I really enjoyed was getting really stuck in and doing everything. So I joined a software and services scale up, which is backed by private equity. It's my first foray into like the startup world and being able to do so much and create things from anew. And that's where I really got into my entrepreneurship. So I started a program which is called Fund the Future, which essentially meant that instead of spending, I think we've saved now £15,000 off of marketing and branded goods. We now enable everyone that we meet at conferences and events to help us support three charities that help underrepresented people getting into technology. So rather than giving you a branded charger or a branded pen, we give you a token that you can donate into three charity boxes, and we give that money to them instead of buying branded goods. Running business can be really difficult because, like, especially as a solo founder, it can be quite a weight on your shoulders. But speaking to people every day and like finding out more about why they started their businesses or the journeys that they've been on or even the places that they've got to experience without stress in the back of their minds about hair is really like it's the fuel to my progress, right? So it's what keeps me in check and what keeps me going. So what I did was I literally talked to every single person in my network and not in my network about this idea. And I think I'm laughing now because I feel like people stopped inviting me to barbecues because I was literally just talking about my product all the time. But eventually, I talked about it enough that one of my close friends who used to work at the same company as myself and went on to become a platform engineer at another company decided that he was going to get me to stop talking about it all the time by actually helping me to build it. So I think that's why I tell everyone that you need to speak about your idea to every person that you can and also work on expanding your network so that good technologists do hear about it and do want to support you with what you're building, because that's pretty crucial, especially when building a tech-enabled product. So that was my first key challenge, was finding a technologist. Yeah, so starting a business is never easy. There are so many things that can and often do go wrong, but what is amazing is the journey to what I think of self-discovery. So I always think that you should only do a job or work in an industry if you're learning and if you're having fun. And starting a business, I've been doing both learning and having fun. I think in terms of my three key challenges or things that I've learned and been able to grow from along the way, the first is when I created the Instagram, it was fine because it was what I like to call a no-code solution. So I could just tell my story, put a couple of pictures on, maybe even put a filter on it, and that was fine. But then building a web application or a mobile application, that you require some form of technical knowledge. And I found that quite difficult, especially at the beginning, because I'm a non-technical founder. Ironic because previously I'd worked at a software and services company, so I was surrounded by technologists, but not app dev technologists. And I think it's really important, especially for non-technical founders, that we understand that one technical person doesn't mean that your entire app will be built, and not having one doesn't mean that you can't build it at all. So from that, I learned that one of the first and most important things I needed to do was build my network of technologists, because ultimately the person who becomes your co-founder or your first technologist on your team will likely be from your network. The second, I'd actually say maybe should have been the first, but it's just getting started. So a lot of people have great ideas that they think starting a business is really difficult, or it's not for them, or they have full-time jobs and they don't have time. But what I would say is that just do it. There is nothing holding you back apart from yourself. So there's no reason that you can't create an Instagram account, or even like talk to people about it from your own Instagram account, and just get like some thoughts behind whether other people need it too. So just get started and expand your network. Those are my first two. Another challenge, so I mean everyone talks about this, but funding is a significant challenge. I think they were saying like just over 2% of funding goes to women and 0.2% goes to black women. And when people tell me this, you know what, like I'm just not surprised. Like it's one of those situations where we as a community have had to work impossibly hard for everything that we achieve. I still fundamentally believe that growing up I had to work a lot harder to get to where I am than some of my counterparts from other demographics. And that's, obviously it's not okay, but it's something that we're used to. We're used to hustling hard to get where we want to be and where we deserve to be too. So it doesn't surprise me that funding, only 0.2% of VC funding goes to black females. I see it not just as a challenge, but as an opportunity to make a change, right? So if you think that that is a blocker, it's not. It's just an opportunity to rise above it and to continue to do what we do every day, which is rising above and, you know, making sure that we achieve what we can achieve despite all obstacles. So while some people were like, funding is a challenge, I'm not even going to bother, I just think it's an opportunity to change that narrative. So what's next for Club Melanin? We are having an event with BuzzFeed on the 16th of January, and it's all about what the good hair experience really is. We found from speaking to customers and from stylists that there isn't really a definition of what the good hair experience is. We have no unified view from all parties, from hair enthusiasts to stylists to beauticians to nail technicians to clients, about what they feel good looks like. And without that unifying definition, it's very difficult for us to say that this stylist is vetted as having good hair experience and this one is not. So having all of these people come together to define that is really, really valuable for us, and I think really, really valuable for the community. Not just our community, but others too, of having like that view of what good looks, feels, smells, even tastes like. It's going to be at the BuzzFeed London office, 6:30 to 9 on Thursday, the 16th of January. The details are on Eventbrite, so if you want to sign up and be part of that narrative, please do. I obviously want to concentrate on hairdressers and beauticians, but I don't want to limit myself, because really we need the full package. Like, we need to know that we can get our hair slayed, our makeup beat, our nails on point. Like, it's so important that all of the things that we need are available for us to find.